The Mariners just finished a sweep of the Colorado Rockies yesterday, and today they welcome into town the Milwaukee Brewers, currently leading the NL Central Division. The Brewers have looked really, really good this year. Definitely a lot better than I think a lot of people would have expected to start out the gate. For the last couple of years, the Brewers have had an excellent pitching staff, but this year, it hasn't been as good as people might think. To start off our series here, we do have to face Cy Young Award winner Corbin Burnes. Against him is Flexen for the Mariners. Now, Flexen just had a blow-up start, and while that might be concerning for a lot of you guys, in the past 2 years, in 2021 and 2022, after a blow-up start, a start that did not go well for Flexen, he has managed to bounce back. May 21st, 2021, against the San Diego Padres, Flexen only went 1 2/3, gave up 10 hits, 8 earned, and struck out 1 batter. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound like his start against the Chicago Cubs last week? Well, if you agree, then you might be excited to hear his next start on the 27th of May in 2021. He went 7 innings, struck out 3, did not give up a run, and struck out 6 batters against the Texas Rangers. Now, if that isn't enough to wean you off the concern there, on May 21st, 2022, Flexen also had a blow-up start against the Boston Red Sox, where he gave up 8 hits and 4 earned and only struck out 2 batters over 4 innings. His very next start on the 27th of May, once again in 2022 here, he struck out 6 batters over 7 innings, giving up 7 hits and 1 earned, to the World Series champions in 2022, the Houston Astros. So, Flexen, he just got on by the Chicago Cubs. Maybe he can bounce back in this start and have a great one against the Milwaukee Brewers lineup tonight to get the series started off on the right foot. And to go even further with this, Corbin Burnes, yeah, he's a Cy Young Award winner. He's a fantastic pitcher, great strikeout guy. March and April are his worst months statistically throughout his career. Through his career, he's got a 4.10 ERA in March and April for his entire career. That's his worst mark out of any month for any of the regular season there. He also is sporting a 5.19 ERA currently, so he's not off to the best. Maybe we can get one more bad start out of Corbin Burnes and get some runs on him early tonight and get the Mariners offense clicking for the rest of this series. Now, what's slated to be the second pitching matchup here for the Brewers and the Mariners in Game 2 is Colin Ray versus Logan Gilbert. Now, Colin Ray, he pitched in 2016 for the Padres, and he had a game against the Mariners that didn't go super well for him, but that was 2016, so it doesn't really matter. Historically, though, Colin Ray has been a worse pitcher on the road than he has been at home. He's got a 5.02 ERA over 66 1/3 innings pitched on the road. Maybe he just doesn't feel comfortable with a crowd going against him. And a guy that I specifically want to get to Colin Ray early here is Jarred Kelenic. Breaking Tea is celebrating Kelenic's early season success with a King Kelenic shirt. Make sure to head over to breakingtea.com/Mariner Mojo. Link will be in the description down below, and pick up the King Kelenic shirt now before it's gone. So you got to jump on him early and score those runs, because if it gets to the bullpen, the Mariners are going to have a hard time here, because the Brewers have the best bullpen ERA in all of baseball right now. We know they've got Devin Williams at the back of that pen. Yeah, Jarred Kelenic took him deep in spring training, but Devin Williams, he's a dog. He has elite stuff. That airbender change that pitching ninja loves so much, it's an absolute filthy pitch. I don't think we'll see him in Game 1, but we'll likely see him here in Game 2. He finished out the 9th inning for their final game against the Padres on Sunday, so likely Monday, no Devin Williams, but Game 2, we'll probably see him if it's a close game. Continuing with Game 2, Logan Gilbert's a guy that you need to go out there and be dominant on the mound. He did it against the Chicago Cubs on the road in Wrigley, where he went 6 2/3. He only gave up 4 hits, 1 earned. He walked a batter and struck out 7. You need to limit the base runners and the opportunities for the Milwaukee Brewers. Currently, the Brewers are 6th in the league in walk percentage at 11.2%, but they're also 20th in K percentage at 24.1%, which is tied with Seattle. But if you can get those guys swinging, make sure you're in pitcher-friendly counts, don't let guys kind of get deep on you, I could see Gilbert having a lot of success here. The Brewers are 6th in BABIP batting average on balls in play at 323, which is a really high average. So if they're putting the ball in play, it feels like they're getting hits more often than not. So if Seattle's playing good defense, hopefully they're not hitting it away from guys, they're hitting it at guys in the field. Logan should have some good success. The Cubs are currently sitting at 4th in BABIP, and Logan was able to hold them down, so maybe he can do it against the Brewers and secure a Game 2 dub. With Game 1 kind of being up in the air because we're facing Corbin Burnes, we're going to need this Game 2 from Logan Gilbert to be electric. Now, rounding out Game 3 here, it is going to be Eric Lauer on the mound for the Brewers, where potentially Marco Gonzalez will be pitching for the Mariners. They have not yet announced it, but signs would point that he returns from the paternity list to start that final game of the Brewers series here. Lauer, he's been great so far this year on the road specifically. He's got like a 2.3 ERA on the road in 2 starts, but over his career, he does have a 4.71 ERA on the road, so it's not the best but it's definitely not the worst. The thing that is not great about Eric Lauer this year, though, are his percentiles. And although Eric Lauer has a bottom 5 average exit velocity percentile, which means he's getting hit really, really hard. With a team like the Seattle Mariners, who have been having great exit velocity all year, great barrel percentage all year. Yes, he is a lefty, so we're going to have our righty-centered lineup going that day, so Pollock's going to move up in the order. Depending on whether or not Haggerty's available to go, he will likely be in there over Colton Wong. So if the Mariners can get to Eric Lauer, it's definitely going to be a big key to win this game, especially with Marco potentially being on the bump. We saw him pitch well against the Guardians, but the Guardians' offense has not been clicking super early on this year. Marco's percentiles are actually pretty decent. He's getting some good chase rate. He's not having people hit barrels on him a whole bunch this year, whereas Eric Lauer, they're all in the blue. That's never something you want to see for your starting pitcher. And if the Mariners' offense is continuing to click, yes, Sunday's game was not the best in terms of offense, but the first 2 games against the Rockies, we saw a lot of good at-bats, some hard hits. Hopefully they can continue that into this series. And by the 3rd game in this set, we might be able to take this series over the Milwaukee Brewers. I would go a soft 2-1 here, kind of a lean there, whether or not we go 1-2 or 2-1. But the Brewers are playing really good ball. They're a really good club this year. Got to be realistic. Yes, we're coming off a sweep. We're hot, but got to come down to earth eventually here. I'm going to say 2-1, but I would not be surprised if the 1st or 3rd game go against us here. But I appreciate you guys checking out this video. Check out this video on the screen right now that I did about Jarred Kelenic and where he's kind of sitting at in terms of a potential all-star bid this year. Thank you guys for watching, and go Mariners.